Sarah Farman story, Part 7, A Sadness. Jeff was persistent. He knew Sarah was a very smart and caring woman that could make him happy. It didn't hurt that she seemed quite beautiful to him and not the least bit conceited about it. She acted like she was completely unaware of her attractiveness. They had so much in common, it was easy to relate to each other. In his mind, he knew he had to make the effort, whatever it took, to win her over. All this happened during their nightly phone conversations since Sarah returned from Italy and their frequent dates. Jeff made the effort and realized through the effort he made that she could be the one. Sarah had been a little frosty at first, but when Jeff started calling her every day, she began to trust him, and they were sharing a deeper emotional connection. They were also spending more and more time together. At Christmas, they went to the Farmore celebrations, and later in the day, the Christmas Eve service at the chapel. They went to the service with Jeff's Graham, Sarah's dad, Marina, Jeff's sister, and Sarah's friend Emily. Sarah and Jeff felt close being there with their friends and family. Too bad Sarah's grandmother couldn't go. She had always been an important part of Sarah's life from the time she was very little, and couldn't go as she was not feeling very well that day. One evening late in the spring, when Sarah got home from work, her dad called. His voice was labored and paced and on the verge of emotion, most unusual. Sarah was suddenly alarmed. "Sarah," Dad said, "your grandma is gone. She passed away quietly in her sleep last night." Stunned silence. Grandma had not been well for a while, and I think she was feeling a lot worse than she let on, her dad said. "I've decided to hold a remembrance service here at the farm on Saturday." "Oh, Dad," Sarah said. That was all she needed to say, and the tears started rolling down her cheeks. She sobbed a while and said, "I will get there as soon as I can, Dad." "Okay," he said, and they hung up. Sarah called Jeff. "Jeff, my grandma died, and I need to get to the farm as soon as possible." "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Sarah. I know she was very important to you." "I can pick you up and we can drive over there together if you like," said Jeff. "Oh, that would be very nice, Jeff, but what about your work?" "I have plenty of time built up. It is fine. I can take a week or two off." Next day, Jeff arrived, and they headed for the farm. On the way, Sarah told Jeff about how her grandma was kind of a stand-in mom for her as she was growing up, how she was always there when she needed her. She needed her now, but she was gone. Throughout the journey, she spoke of all the family stories she could remember. She told him about Grandma's experimental garden, her fight with the mole, the surprise of new furniture when she was moving into Shell Hill, and many others. It was after 10 p.m. when they arrived at the farm. Dad was waiting for them at the door, and it reminded Sarah of the way Grandma used to wait for her when she was going to be late. Inside, Sarah and her dad hugged for a long time. It smelled so much like home. Well, it was home. If only Grandma had bread in the oven. She wept a little more. The next day, Sarah helped her dad with the various jobs that needed to be done around the farm, and Jeff helped too. As they worked together, Sarah's dad asked Jeff to call him Sam. Later in the afternoon, when the preparations for the remembrance service had been arranged, and the work that needed doing was done, like feeding the animals, checking their water, Sarah took Jeff out to her island. Well, it wasn't an island since it was connected by a little strip of land, but Sarah always called it her island. She felt very close to Jeff, and he seemed to reciprocate. He was very attentive and provided a good shoulder to lean on. They reminisced about the time Jeff was a little boy and fell in the pond. This time, however, they laughed together. Jeff put his arm around her and held her tight. After dinner that night, Sarah's dad said, "Jeff, why don't you show me that car you drove down here in? It looks great." Off they went to look at the Morris. Jeff explained that it had a Rover engine, which was really a Buick V8 made under license, and how he then grafted a Vauxhall Viva suspension up front and used a narrower Jaguar rear end. "It will hurry up, I expect," said Dad. "Oh yes, it can certainly move. When no one is looking, I do let it out a bit. There was too much work involved to get it this way, so that is a very rare occurrence." Sam said, "I used to do a bit of working around with stuff like that when I was young. The farm keeps me pretty busy now." Jeff started to like Sam. The next day, Jeff and Sam went for a walk around the farm. Sam showed Jeff the various farm sheds, the hay barn, the horse barn, the machinery, including the little gray tractor and the wagon that needed work. When Jeff saw the broken hitch, he said, "I can fix that." "Okay, have a go," said Sam. "The tools are in the shed over there. Help yourself to whatever you need." An hour later, Jeff came back in the house. "It's all done. Is there anything else I can do?" Sam gave him a couple more projects, and by the end of the day, they were done and done well. "You are handy," said Sam. The day of the remembrance service came and went. Many people from all around came by, bringing food and sharing warm stories about Sarah's grandma. It was a sad but wonderful day, and it would have been a perfect day if Grandma had been there. It was at that point that Sarah realized she had been missing the farm badly. To be continued.